Am I live? Hello, YouTube and friends. I see there's people in the chat. I'm so excited. I hope everybody is having a great day so far. I know it's still pretty early. It's 11 here in Colorado. I'm going to move my camera down just a little bit. Flippin' Hustler in the house. What up, Todd? He is awesome, everybody. If you have not checked out his channel, you should. Great advice, and plus he sings Elvis, amongst many other songs. But oh, that was my dog. Violet, do you want to say hi? Come here, say hi. There's my dog, Violet Rose, or as I call her, Coin Dog. Okay, go lay down, Pumpkin. So anyways, I hope everybody had a good weekend. I did. We actually tested out as a family acrylic pouring. Yeah, thank you, Shamrock Pixie. She is really cute. She's 4. She's my baby. Oh, bye. I love her little ears. Bye. Aren't you cool dog? Where's our cool dog? Anyways, over the weekend, yeah, I got smart for once. And I pre-scheduled a bunch of my listings. I did all the ones that were at least over, 10, because it's 10 cents, which isn't a big deal to me, really. Spending 10 cents to spend time with my kids, on the weekend is totally worth it. Doing $1 is not even a big deal. But anyway, so yeah, we did this acrylic pour, and I had to show you because I just thought it was really cool. I really would like to start doing videos on art because I am an artist and I have been painting forever. This is not really my normal style. I have done this though on countertops. I did some countertops in an old house. I didn't use acrylic, but oh, yay, more people. Wow, that is so awesome. That's so awesome. More people are showing up. But yeah, so this is a few that we did. All 4 of us did it. It was cool because it was a project that all of us can do, from, youngest to oldest. My kids, I have 2 kids, and they are 6 years apart. And so it's kind of hard sometimes to figure out something that, for both of them to do. Luckily, they both love art and crafts. And so they thought that was really cool. It was a pretty inexpensive project. I'm frugal, so I usually don't spend a lot on materials of anything. And I have had, my YouTube name is borderline hoarderish. I hoard. Okay, maybe hoard is a strong word, but I borderline hoard art supplies. Yeah, pretty much. So anyways, I wanted to first off start off with this little story, just a quick story before I get into my eBay mistakes. You would think after a year, or even being in the reseller business for, 10 years, that I would learn. But, of course, you got to make mistakes, and that's all right. We all make mistakes. No point in getting too worked up over it. But so I went and dropped my son off with his dad this morning. And on my way back home, I was turning left, and there was a car in front of me and then another car in front of that one. We were all turning left. And the very first car stalled out. And it's pretty cold today. I don't know. They just had some issues. You're trying to restart it. But so the guy behind him starts blasting on his horn, like he is mad that the person in the front, cannot turn right away. So he's like trying to back up into me, just to get into the other lane. And I'm like, whoa, what is going on? So I start backing up because he's literally about to run into me. I had enough room, between myself and the person behind me. So this guy gets over, he's all pissed off. He's like, making hand gestures at the other guy. And I always think to myself, this is ridiculous. Is it really worth getting that worked up, over? But So he gets into the right lane, and guess who got their car started and was able to turn, and I thought to myself, how ridiculous is that guy got so worked up over, something. It makes me think about, for those of you that don't know, I live life with a pacemaker, and I think about time a lot because part of my heart doesn't beat at all. My pacemaker beats for it. And I always think about, each beat takes a little bit of time off of my battery, which means I have to have a surgery, sooner. And right now I'm sitting at, I think 5.5 years before my next one. I just had one last May. I had my pacemaker moved. So it made me think about how, is it worth it to get that worked up? Because for like somebody like me, my heart would have been racing, and each beat is that battery, getting less and less and less. And I'm like, and in the end, the guy, he got up and started and went left, the first guy, right in time anyway. So was it really worth, all that trouble? And I always tell my kids, when we get cut off or whatever it is in traffic, people have crazy road rage. And don't get me wrong, people definitely annoy me, but that person's going to go on about their day still mad. Like, is it worth it? Just because they cut you off or whatever it was, is it worth it getting so, worked up over something so minuscule? They're going to be unhappy no matter what. They're going to probably go to their next destination and still be pissed off about whatever it is. Like, don't let it get to you. So anyways, that was my little quick rant on life. I'm going to drink my tea here. That was my cat. That's Alessandra. And of course the dog always has to know what's going on. Is my cup awesome? So when I was in the hospital for my last surgery, which was my 5th one, my dad brought me up a vase, or this was the vase, and it had flowers in it. And I love it. And I always think of him when I drink out of it. He's really an amazing man. I'm very blessed to have an awesome family. On to my mistakes. You would think, seriously, that I would learn, but that's all right. That's all right. I'm sure everybody, knows exactly what I'm talking about. I've watched a lot of videos, and I noticed that there's not as many that are all about, the mistakes in comparison, what to do. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So I'm seeing the Flippin' Hustler in the house, Shamrock Pixie, RBA Flips. That is awesome. You guys are awesome. You don't even know how much it means to me. I know that there's only a few people, and maybe in a year I can laugh about this, but you got to start somewhere, right? So back to the eBay mistake. So I've been trying to do inventory. I cleared out my entire store at the beginning of the year and have been going through every post and relisting. Now I don't wait all year to do inventory. I try to do it every quarter. I'm kind of built in my head to do that from being a restaurant manager, really, for 7 years I was. And I've also done some other jobs. I used to run a cleaning business, and I was really quite successful at it. But due to heart conditions, I couldn't do that anymore. So anyways, I try to, manage my time well. I've been kind of built to do that. And so the beginning of this year, though, I took everything out, and I wanted to make sure that everything, every post was good, and also to figure out what needed to go or what needed to stay. And, well, I got, I guess, kind of in a hurry, basically, in trying to just, by a week, I was like, or a week and a half into trying to re-inventory things, I was kind of getting over it. And so I decided to do it quickly, which in turn made me make a few mistakes, as in, so before my listing, for example, this is the one item that I made a mistake on. it was listed as free shipping before, and I, in my hurrying of going through the post and selling similar item, I don't just relist it. I was doing a similar post or listing, and I didn't change the shipping part in it, and the item pretty much sold. Like I got an offer on it and I took it. I had the item. I had it for quite some time. It was part of a bag of 99. I have a little obsession with buying bags for 99 cents. The Goodwill near me has not kind of gone like all the other Goodwills have gone and sort of started to overprice some things. And really, even it's not that much of overpricing because the deals are still quite awesome. Some stuff, maybe, but so I get these little bags for usually 99 cents, and it's kind of just a collection of sort of similar items. One of them was, I've gotten one for jewelry around Christmas time. I did an ornament one. I've done quite a few bags. I love it because it costs $1, and as long as I can, make my dollar back, then everything else is profit. So this item luckily was still profit, but because of my awesome mistake and accepting the offer so quickly and not realizing that I hadn't changed the shipping, I literally made a penny on the item. I mean, I'm glad that I made money, didn't lose money, but a penny. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was a little annoyed, and I almost didn't want to put a little thank you card. I get thank you cards. I like to handwrite them. I really think customer service is super, super important. It's important in every job aspect I've had. I've worked in retail, food, and like I said, the cleaning business. My family, my mom owned a consignment / antique used furniture eBay store. She opened that, I want to say like 15 years ago, and had it for quite a few years. I even worked there, but yeah, I have a little bit of experience, and so I know how important customer service is, and even quality. Well, technically what they teach you is customer service, cleanliness, and quality of product, which I think all of those can apply to even eBay. I was thinking a few weeks ago, more towards the beginning of the year, when I was coming up with my New Year's resolutions, about how I kind of felt like a failure in a sense for having so many jobs, and I felt like it just, like I never stuck one almost through. And I was actually watching Todd. I kind of binge watch him sometimes. I try as much to hop on, everybody's lives, but it's a little hard, and nothing against y'all. My family is super important. So some of them, the hours, it just don't work. But where was it located? I'm originally from Colorado. Yeah, so it was in Inglewood. Inglewood was my family's store. It was amazing. It was amazing. He was just asking where in Colorado was my family's store located. And it was in Inglewood, which is really quite an amazing little area. Denver is pretty, for those of you that don't know Denver, the Denver metro area, there's a lot of, subdivisions are just on the outside. So the actual Denver area is small in comparison to all these extra add-ons that they have around. It's growing huge. Denver, everywhere I turn, it gets bigger and bigger. Like a new, taller building. Remind me again, Todd, what part of Colorado did you live? I want to say it was like north somewhere. I can't remember. Westminster? Something like that. I have my little note. I I always think I have all these brilliant ideas, but I don't know if they're all brilliant. But then I don't write them down. So my daughter got me this for Christmas, this little unicorn notes. So I've been trying to remember and to write things down to share because I really do have a lot of, well, I hope maybe to some good info, but experience in quite a broad spectrum of things. I tell people that, instead of being the jack of all trades, I'm the Jill of all trades. There's lots of things that I have kind of dabbled in. Westminster. Grew up in Westminster off 94th and Lowell. Okay, yeah. Well, I currently live in Commerce City. It's different than what I'm used to in any of the other areas. I actually lived in Kansas for 4 years from 2009 and 4 years after that. And that was quite a wake up to go from a big city to a small town of 250 back to a big city. I had a meltdown. The first day I came back. I had forgotten how rude people were. I really did. I cannot believe. So in the small town that I lived in, the thing to do as you drove by somebody was to raise your fingers up. Understand when you're driving along and you just kind of wave, wave. If you don't really know them, it's a one finger wave. But, you're driving down. So I had a habit of doing that when I moved back to Colorado, and I actually did that to somebody, and they must have thought I was flipping them off because they flipped me off. Jerks. Some people. Shamrock Pixie says, your name is really cute, by the way. I have to write down notes to when I do YouTube videos because I go off topic all the time without them. True story. I'm sure that I've done that quite a few times. I know that in my first couple lives, I definitely did that like bad, but that's just kind of me. And so I didn't, I thought about scripting. I thought about sort of scripting things, and maybe I'll do videos like that, not necessarily lives, but then I thought it wouldn't show me through. And, I get nervous, of course, like every time I come on or even go in front of a camera, it definitely makes me want to puke a little bit, but you just got woosah, as we like to call it, woosah. My children always tell me I get off topic, even when I go shopping, because I don't know if it's just the fact that I'm always on the hunt, for the best bargain. And I've been doing that since I could remember, but they always have to yell out to me. We have our little funny family thing. We always go, squirrel! We yell out squirrel so that whoever's getting off track can remember to get back on track. Maybe that's what I need somebody to do. I'll have to have a moderator in here telling me, squirrel, Kim, squirrel. Oh, that's funny. Oh, there's my baby. That's my Violet. You're so sweet. Oh, you're so sweet. She's such a good dog. We're working on tricks. May I show you all? Violet, you think I want a cookie? You think you'll show the people your tricks? You're gonna be famous one day, Queen. Queen, Queen, my sweet Queen, Queen. I love her. She's my Yoda dog. Like if it wasn't so cruel to dye her, I would dye her green for Halloween. Jabber as my brain thinks to that. Yeah, but you know what? I love that about you is you're organic. And that's one of, I think, the greatest qualities about you. There's a few people that I really, really like watching because they're like that. The bearded picker, he's one of them too, because he just kind of just tells it how it is. And he's a little more, I don't know, organic about it. I also like watching Wade a lot. He was one of the first people that I started to watch a lot of the lives of, or even just on replay watching the lives. He's cool. One of my favorite too is, I don't know if he brought his channel back, is the Thrifty Dad. He's actually one of the reasons why I decided I was going to start doing lives. So if y'all figure out how to find him, tell him that, tell David that he was my motivation to get out of my comfort zone and just do it. I'm going to show you all how smart my little dog is. Let's see. All right. I'm using my laptop camera. I have a new phone and I love it, but I haven't quite figured out the best setup for it quite yet. All right. Okay, bye. You want to get a cookie, bye? I'm Cookie. I'm Cookie. She really likes cookies. Quick, you want a cookie? A cookie, Chris? I want a cookie? Okay. Hold on. With my luck, I don't know if y'all can hear me, but with my luck, she's going to not do this, but we'll see. Oh, she loves it. Oh, she loves it. Oh, I'm so excited, right? Okay, ready? Sit. Come here. Sit. Sit down. I know you want a cookie. Sit down. You're so cool. Sit. Okay, ready? Up. Really? What are you doing? Go, right? That's spin. 1, a 2, a 3. Okay, walk for the people. Walk. Are you ready? Sit down. Roll over. Okay, here's the cookie. Good. All right, let's see. My real name is Destiny outside of YouTube. My hubby taught us the woosah calming trick. That's awesome. Woosah. When I was in high school, I came up with a word that I was going to be cool, calm, and collected. I was always all, I'm cool, calm, and collected. Qualmected. I am qualmected. He was live with Alma. And I saw that she was doing that live, and I didn't do it. Let's see what was I. Oh, Fridays is game night. That's the problem is, or some nights, I'll have to watch it, though. I'll have to watch the replay. Friday nights, every single Friday night is family game night, and we usually play a board game, and then Saturdays we try to do at least something together that, whether it's going out and throwing the baseball or doing arts and crafts, or we have done so many cool projects over the years, and it just really depends. But I'm really, I try really hard to hang out with my kids as much as humanly possible. When I was growing up, my mom worked 2 jobs, and I love my mom. Don't get me wrong. I think she's wonderful. I think she's amazing. We're like twins. Everybody says we're very similar, but she worked a lot, and I'm very grateful for her doing that. She had 2 jobs, and up until she met my stepdad, and actually she worked for Quest, and Quest, I don't know, got, what was it? Somebody, AT&T bought them out or something, and they laid off everybody. So that was what, I don't know how many years ago that was. Quite a while ago that was, because I was still living with my mom, and so that's when she first started eBay back in 1996, I want to say, or 97. So she's been doing that for a long time. She was doing eBaying books for a long time, and then she had her store, and that was really neat to do. Such a cool community of people, people who thrift, or as I call them, treasure hunters. Yeah. There's something about going out thrifting and hunting for a unique item. I wasn't sure necessarily what niche I was going to have when it came to my store. And in fact, I told myself I wasn't going to do any breakables. I was like, I'm not going to sell breakables. Too much of a risk. And, although it is, because, you have to make sure that it's packed and shipped correctly, but I seem to flock to them. I've definitely learned, things to, well, I mean, it just kind of depends. Because I started out just on my phone, no laptop. Heck, I didn't even have a bank account until, honestly, just recently. Uh, you got to start somewhere, though, right? I hear people all the time. I try to convince people, especially when they're broke or something, or they lost their job or whatever. It's like, sell some stuff. I guarantee you got stuff you can sell. Come on. And they're like, no, it's too hard. It's too hard. It's scary. I think eBay is a little complicated when it comes to all the fees. The biggest thing, though, if you're just starting out, and this is just my opinion, is to definitely get shipping sort of figured out. I know that if you go mobile, that they do the little recommended, on the prices. You can also obviously do the recommended on laptop, but mobile, I mean, if you're starting out with nothing, like mobile is a pretty good way to go. If I had to pick mobile over a laptop, I'd definitely pick laptop just because it's a lot easier to do some more specifics and to also keep track of what's selling and what's not selling and, all those things. Flippin' Hustler says, my mom sells on eBay too. That's awesome. That's awesome. I like it. I really like it. It works for me. Like I was talking earlier about having so many different jobs. It's kind of all worked out for a reason, for me to do this. And I'm really blessed that I've had this opportunity and blessed to be here. I try to stay as positive, I guess, as I can. I'm not perfect. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that every day is peaches and, roses or whatever it is. But if I could help somebody out, or even whether that's entertainment or make somebody smile, then right on. That's cool enough for me. Maybe I won't make people smile. I don't know. Make you think. Get you thinking. Especially when it comes to reselling. I signed up for Posh, but all right, honest moment. I hate clothes. I hate listing clothes. I do. And plus, I have animals. And so I have the world's largest Jiminy Cricket. And I worry that, I might make somebody sick who's allergic. So I try not to do that. I also try to be really specific on where I take pictures and making sure things are clean, when I do it. A lot of the stuff that I list is smaller, or I'm easily, I can easily wipe it off. Or if not, when I immediately bring it in, then I will bag it up. I'll put it in. I'll show y'all. Oh, okay. My dog thinks I'm talking to her. Excuse me. Queen, go away, Queen. Okay, I love a Queen. Okay, bye, Queen. I call it corn dog. I know. I'm cheesy. Anyway, so I love these. These are, great values. I think Walmart is where I got these. So they're just like bagel bread bags. Oh, and I just sat on my dog. Whoops. So these are pretty awesome. I like to stick things right away in those, or I just put them in a regular like sandwich bag, that zips up or something. I get them from the dollar store or Dollar Tree for $1. Let's see. Rosie's Closet in the house. Yay! Yeah, I'm so excited, especially because I've seen a few of you. I changed my YouTube name not too long ago from Life of Kimberly. So if you don't recognize me, that's because I changed my name. I'm having an issue on figuring out the name thing. I think the Borderline Hoarder is funny, though. And I see some merch in the future coming out here real soon. Yay! Let's see. Shamrock says, Miss Pixie says, I think that is just so cute. None of my family resells. Tommy's teaching me. My hubby has been selling pretty much his whole life. He took about a year how to sell on eBay before he started. And now he's teaching me. That is awesome. You know what? I really think it's really cool, especially when you have other people on board. My kids are even sort of into it. My son loves to take my phone and eBay search for me. That's when I bring home new items, or he likes to take a picture and then he scrolls through and tries to find it. And then he will save it for me, is what he does. So it pops up for me in a draft. He's so funny. Like, I've been frugal for as long as I can remember. I mean, my mom and I used to make soap, like, together, or heck, my dad got a foosball table from Goodwill when I was, I don't know, 9 or something. We still have that thing, or my dad still does. We play on it quite often, but so I've been going thrift shopping or garage sailing, estate sales, auctions, all those things for as long as I can remember. Before I opened my store, I actually listed for somebody. My mom had been bugging me for quite some time about using my coupon abilities to start Amazon, or eBay. And I was so nervous and paranoid to do that. But I started eBay first because I figured I could start with selling stuff in my house. And that's exactly what I did. I picked items from around my home, and that's what I listed first. Research is another thing that I think is really, really important. And I learned that really the biggest thing was, so we used to, when my parents had the consignment shop, people would come in with their item and they would just think it was like worth $1 bazillion. Fortunately, some of the things you think is worth a lot is not. Like, just because, I looked this up on eBay. Yeah, well, they looked it up on eBay and only saw one crazy person listing it for $100 just because they thought it was worth that. When really you need to look at what has sold. And if you can't find it, then don't bother, especially if you're in the beginning of listing. If you don't quite know what you're doing, you need to be a little, mindful of what you're listing, because it's really important to start getting that feedback. Again, there's that customer service, getting feedback, responding to feedback. And I get it. It's kind of scary to respond or type back, but you have to remember, more than likely you're never going to see any of these people. Like, kill them with kindness every single time. Even when I worked for a restaurant, being the manager, I would have to deal with all the customer complaints, and more times than not, there's going to be 2 people who take the time to say something positive, and the other ones are going to be bad. I'm not saying that my story was horrible or anything like that, but just kind of showing you that more people go out of their way to complain than they do to be positive, which I think we should change that. For real, you should make it a goal that if you go somewhere and somebody's awesome, go out of your way to make sure they know that. I think I go into stores or whatever, and I see people just having the worst day, or the person before me is a jackhole. I make it, they look frazzled. And I always tell them, I've been in customer service a long time. I get it. You're all right. They apologize over and over and over and over. Like, it's okay, dude. It's okay. It's okay. But yeah, customer service is pretty important. I'm drinking tea. I like me some tea. Y'all are going to see that I'm a really big dork, for real. I hope that you don't mind. I have a saying that you need to just be bravely weird and be okay with it. Yeah, and I'm like, thought you had a second YouTube channel. Bargain of it. Yeah. Yeah, so here's a little quote on here. It says, "You will always live happy if you live with heart." How sweet. Oh, sweet. Yeah, so my first few lives, I don't know where my little Treks are, but I have these Treks Aftershocks. They're headphones, and they're cool because they don't have earbuds in them. Like they don't have the part that has to go in your ear. And I, for some reason, I haven't grown since I was like 11, 10. And so everything, especially inside of me, ears, like all are all small. Like even my feet. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I forgot I'm wearing slippers. Ah, look, Nightmare Before Christmas. But see, y'all, I'm too old to try to bend my leg that way. Nightmare Before Christmas. Yep, yep. I love the Nightmare Before Christmas. Uh, yep, we like that around here. We're a little bit of some oddballs. It used to be my daughter's favorite movie. She would watch that thing over and over and over. Which I guess is better than some of the other ones. Like my little brother was obsessed with Barney, that big purple people leader looking fool. I love you. You love me. I mean, it's cool to love, man, but it's how tall. I am 5'6". Okay, like 5'5", but not that that would really. I'm all just standing up like you're gonna be on the tail. That's pretty funny. You guys can't hear my music in the back, can you? I was really quite disappointed that it was too loud, I think, in my first few videos because I really like music. And then I was wearing my tracks the last few lives, and it was a little distracting. And then I figured out, see, you learn something new every day. I figured out, so I knew it was very, very distracting. And then I was looking up policies on YouTube about music, and you can't even cover certain songs. I was like, oh. So I don't know. I mean, maybe I need to look into it further, but I wasn't quite, I wasn't amused because I like singing. I'm not the best singer, but singing makes me happy. My grandpa used to always tell me that he never needed to turn the radio on whenever I would go visit because I would just sing in the back of the car. And that's totally what I do. If I'm cleaning, I'm singing. If I'm listening, I'm usually singing or listening to music. In the background, though, I have it going, but I don't know if y'all can hear. I hope nobody can hear it. Oh, 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 oh. I've had a few copyright strikes. Yeah, so is it, see, I'm confused about it. Because is it if you play something longer than 15 seconds, or is that just like, I mean, I don't quite understand. I know that if you play the song through, obviously you're going to get copyright strike. But if I just sing, am I going to get copyright strike if it's not on that list for YouTube? I don't know. I mean, it would be quite disappointing if my channel, went away because it's 3 strikes and you're out. Yeah, I'm not sure. I got my hat on. This is one of my favorite hats. So yeah, I have small hands, and like I said, the inside of my ears, ear canals are small, and all kinds of, even my heart, body parts. But I have a giant head. For my head doesn't fit like any hats, and so I found this. I'm gonna guess. I guarantee you, I didn't pay full price for it. I think it was, what was it? I want to say Burlington or something like that on clearance. I don't know. I bought. I used to hit up clearance a lot, especially when I was couponing. But I'm going to. I just finally got an Amazon seller's account and merch, and so I'm going to start that. Merch is still in application mode. Just for those of you that don't know this, it takes up to 14 days for them to approve you for merch. I did get an Amazon affiliate link. Amazon's taking over the world, y'all. I'm going to be there on for the ride for now. I can't remember what YouTuber said that the average time span for a business is like 20 to 25 years or something like that. So they say like YouTube, you had plenty of time before that bombs. And they're talking about, Amazon is a little bit of an older company, but it still has plenty of life in it. I think it was Casey, actually, the Rockstar Flipper. Is that what his name is? I like him too. I like him because he's like my news guy for the reseller world. He, keeps people up to date on the latest and greatest of policies or, like the taxing or even Amazon. I'm going to look at the chat here. I'm so glad that there's people in here. We can laugh about this, right? In a year, we're going to laugh about this. So let's see. I love singing when I'm cooking. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I do too, which is why my Amazon has moved into my kitchen. My mom got me Amazon Alexa. I think it was for my birthday, which was June, and I mean it's fun. She's quite humorous. She doesn't know everything, but I have a good time being amused by asking her to see how smart she really is. Maybe I'll do that. I'll have to make a video one time about chatting with Alexa or something. Elvis tribute show. Yeah. Oh, that's what went got copyrighted. Yeah, I love Elvis. I've loved Elvis since I was tiny. My parents liked Elvis, and I really like kind of a broad span of music from just all of it. I mean, in high school or every year I was in school from kindergarten all the way up, I was in some type of chorus or choir group music class or something. So I've kind of developed a love for all kinds of music, from Elvis to songs from musicals to Willie Nelson, On the Road Again. Oh, I can't wait to get on the road again. Oh, anyways, to every Christmas we listen to Jimmy Buffett. It's been a family tradition. Melikaliki maka is the thing to say. Because it's not really me trying too hard on the singing, but let's see. This tribute. Okay, I read that. I can relate, Kim. Yeah, so did you get flagged because you were playing Elvis or because you were singing Elvis? Because, like I said, I'm still trying to figure out all that I kept making excuse after excuse as to why I wasn't going to go on YouTube and be live or all these things of worrying. And I'm just so tired of worrying about everything. Like, it's exhausting. Really, it is. My cat is acting suspicious down here. She loves my printer, which is down here underneath my desk. Yeah, she thinks that it's her toy. So when I print stuff, I really need to figure out another place to put it. But before I had it on like a lower area, kind of like my table back here. And she, in all her sweet chubbiness, there's Oompa Loompa walking back that way. She jumped on the top of it and broke it. I was in a lot of music classes and a group called Super Singers. We were on TV. What? That is awesome. I suck at singing now because of my health. Oh. But once we move out west, I'll be able to sing again and can't wait. Well, what makes, I mean, if you don't mind, what makes the difference of moving? Is it a humidity thing, an elevation thing? I live in dry Colorado, and I know that humidity actually affects me. My mom has rheumatoid arthritis, and so the cold weather really, really bothers her. And she actually, for half of the year, lives in Arizona. So during the winters here, she lives in Arizona. Karaoke music. You were using karaoke music right off YouTube. Oh man, I don't know if I don't think I saw that one. I watched a lot of your videos. I really have. I will when I'm listing or whatever it is, or even cleaning or vacuuming my couch or something, I usually put a YouTuber on my TV or something. Classic Rosie says, I've been singing my whole life. I'm classically trained in opera. That is so awesome. I'm super jealous. So I used to be able to have a much higher range of singing. And then I made a really bad decision to smoke cigarettes and I quit. But it really affected my voice, and I am slowly, it's taken me quite some time to kind of get my range a lot bigger. Also, with each heart surgery, there's a lot of things that I can't really do just because it's hard. But that's awesome. I am obsessed with the Phantom of the Opera. I know that part of that is like just more of a musical type of thing, but then she also, they sing a lot of opera type of songs. I wish that I could claim to be an opera singer because it's really amazing. One of my favorite songs from the Phantom of the Opera. See, I've been watching. I think the first time I went and saw, if you guys like watching things on stage and you haven't ever seen the Phantom of the Opera, it's far better than the movie, in my opinion. But you should go. Like, I think that it really speaks to quite a big audience. It's a little dark, but it's incredible on stage. Like, it really, really is. Like, it moves you. Do you like the Gerard Butler version? Oh wait, I'm missing something here. Oh no, wow, I'm so bad with names. What is it? Andrew Lloyd Webber, right? Is that right? I can't remember. I'm really bad with names. If I forget any of y'all's names, don't ever take it personal. Yeah, so I like his Fun fact. And I don't know how long he did this, but he used to have I don't know if it was a blue and gold macaw. It was some kind of tropical bird that he would actually sing to in the bathroom, really good acoustics. And the bird was singing back. Yeah, so I always thought that was really cool. My stepmom has been into the Phantom of the Opera forever. And I went to my first show. I want to say I was like, maybe 10. I don't know. All I remember is it's the night I decided to help my parents out by doing the dishes so that we could get out the door. And instead of putting dish detergent in the dishwasher, I put Dish Dawn soap. And if you guys have ever done that, you know that, boy, if you want some bubbles in your house, put some dish soap in your dishwasher and see what happens. It's so much fun. Okay, if you're a kid, probably not for anybody who has to clean it up. Everything was all sticky. The things you remember as a kid. I'm sure my parents still remember that. Yeah, so one of the songs I love from the Phantom of the Opera, and I have it on a playlist, is So Think of Me is definitely one of them. She hits some high notes in that end, the end of that. And then I also love the little the song where she's singing back and forth with her friend. And what is it? Her friend goes, where in the world have you been hiding? Really, you were perfect. I only wish I knew your secret. Who is this new tutor? I love that one. That one was pretty awesome. And then the Stick of Me one is I could never sing the whole time because the end of that is just bonkers. The Think of Me fondly when we said goodbye. Remember me once in a while. Please promise me you'll try. My cat is trying to jump up here because she loves singing. Her favorite is actually Elvis, though. Phantom of the Opera. I sang Think of Me at the Miss Nevada pageant and won. What? That is awesome. That's awesome. That song is really, really big range. You can hit every note in that song. I give you props, girl. That's awesome. I put my daughter in, when we lived in Kansas, in a pageant, and she did it 2 pageants, and I'll never do it again. Nope. Some of y'all moms out there, I don't know if any of you, I don't think y'all are like that, but especially kind of maybe being resellers, but it is, number one, way too expensive to be put in pageants. You really need to be crafty. Like if you can bedazzle some things, then pageants, no problem. But I was really surprised at how much it even was kind of like you see on TV. And you think that things on the TV are over exaggerated, but it's really like that. I mean, they really are mean and cruel, and I just put my daughter in it because she wanted to go dance on stage. And I couldn't believe how nitpicky and how the other moms were like, I mean, nobody celebrated each other's success. It was like, I won supreme. Look at my big old crown. I was like, oh, like, what are you guys teaching your children? Really? Ugh. I know that there's a lot of cool things about it. Like, it was cool that she had to take something and practice, practice a lot. And she met all kinds of people, but it wasn't my style in particular of parenting, and so I couldn't do it anymore. I mean, she did very well, and she's a very pretty girl. Has kind of some unique features. Yeah, but still, I mean, it wasn't our thing, and it was a lot of work, and she just wasn't into it. I'm not going to force her to do something that she didn't like anymore. All right, looks like Miss Rosie's out. I have to go, everyone. Headed to Costco. Woo! All right, thank you for stopping by. That is awesome. Totally day made, girl. I hope you have a fabulous week. Yeah, if you've seen Toddlers and Tiaras, it's real. Yeah, exactly. We are working with my daughter on singing, but no pageants. That's awesome. That's awesome. I think I kind of wish, like, okay, let me restart. So my children go to a charter school, and it's very academic. And I'm glad that, I think it's very important to be smart and well educated, but they don't have all the extracurricular activities like I did when I was going to school. Like I said earlier, I had been in choir, or music class, or done a performance on stage every single year I was in school: elementary school, middle school, high school. High school was by choice because I picked those classes. But yeah, I wish that my kids' school would do that. And my grandma and I, who's an artiste, talk about all the time about art being not in the school, and a lot of the schools just can't afford it, which is really kind of sad. I get that that we need to prioritize where money and funds and stuff like that go. I mean, I was on the policy council for my son's school for a couple of years, and I learned a lot. It was really a great experience. It was neat to learn the inner workings of how everything works and how the process. I mean, we're so built to think that everything's so instant right now, and that oh, I want more school security, and they expect it tomorrow. And that's just not how it works. Like, it has to be voted on, and it has to um, be approved, and then it comes back, and then it has to go through the loops and hoops again. So it's months and months before, especially if it's a high cost, I think, before anything's gonna happen. It was cool though to be on the policy council. Yay, we have someone in here. She has the bell on. See you soon. Oh, yay. That makes me happy. I'm so easily amused, really. We homeschool. The schools here suck. Yeah, I thought about doing that, but I don't know. I mean, the schools here are the ones that my kids are in are all right. When we lived in Kansas and lived in a smaller town, there wouldn't have been a choice on schools. It was one school, which was a half an hour away, and that was it. So I get sometimes that you don't have a choice. If I could homeschool my kids, I thought it would be cool, but also I don't know. I give parents props who do that, because I have a hard time even getting my kids to, not necessarily my daughter so much, my little wild monkey man, to sit and do homework. He just does not like that. He just doesn't want to do it. But we do it every day. We have a set schedule every day. We run like clockwork around here. I know that for me, and I think parenting for everybody is different. For us, working on a schedule really helps so that everybody in the house is on the same page. I also make it that we all eat dinner together at our little tables. Sometimes, like on a Friday night or something, we'll eat in here. But after school, we come home. The kids change out of their uniforms. They get a little snack. Then it's homework. Then it's chores. Then it's dinner. Then it's everybody hangs out, does whatever they need to do. Then it's bath time, bed. Yeah, it was hard, to get the kids on a schedule, especially when my son was a little bit littler. But and I don't have him all the time now. His dad and I are not together, so we share time. But yeah, we have another person. Hello. Oh, I don't want to butcher your name, girl. Nishana. Okay, you're gonna have to help me out maybe in pronouncing. I see we have Anita. Hello, Anita. Wow, this is awesome. Let's see. I'm gonna look through I've been rambling for a while, but I'm gonna see if I can find y'all another little tip. I'm just going on and on, rambling on and on. Taking a break from my inventory. I really need to finish it because I think I'm only at 108 listings and I still have. Well, I took 350 down, so yeah, there you go. I still have quite a lot to go through. I'm not going to re-put every single one of them back up, but I really wanted to just kind of restart the clock on those. And I'm putting every single one of them down to repeat every 7 days. And then after the 8th time, I know that, okay, well, I had this last year for, a couple months or however long it's been. And I know that there's some people out there who keep their stuff, for a year, whatever. I just don't have the room in my house to do that. And it may be, a little easier in the future when I have more room, but chaos in my house makes me crazy, and if I'm going to require my kids to keep their areas clean, then I need to keep mine clean too. Yeah. So I got sick of doing inventory, but I just had to take a little break. And it's Monday. I told my daughter the other day, she's like, we were talking about what our favorite day of the week is. And she's like, my favorite day is Friday. And of course it was because of the weekend. And I was like, my favorite day is Monday. And they get strange looks when you tell them your favorite day is Monday, because most people don't like Mondays, but I do because it's a new week. It's a new start, new day. Really, and even if it starts to go a little, a little south, your day, you can restart your day at any moment. Don't forget that. I do this whole 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I restart. Really, it's like I've been hearing a bunch of my friends talk about their New Year's resolution and how they're failing at them all, and I'm like, most people will, by this point, if they haven't continued to do it, whatever you're stuck to their guns on their New Year's resolution, they quit. And I always think to myself, well, that's silly. Like, first off, like, you put all this effort into wanting to do something better for yourself. And I get that it gets exhausting or mundane, or, you feel like quitting, or it's tiring, or whatever, or it's hard. Well, first off, life is hard, people. Get over it. Number 2, you can restart your New Year's resolutions or whatever it is at any time you please. This is your life. Yours, not anybody else's. Just saying. Y'all know it's true. Mm-hmm. 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 My cat in the background. Sandra. So her favorite song is Teddy Bear. And that was one of my favorite Elvis songs. When I was younger, my mom used to play it, and she would go to karaoke, I guess. And there was one time they were doing some karaoke competition, and she wanted me to sing Teddy Bear. And I always thought that was kind of silly, because as a kid, I was like, well, that's a boy song, I still thought Elvis was cool, but I didn't want to go on stage singing it. So it's been she made me practice it. I chickened out and never went on stage to sing karaoke, which is funny because, here I am now, like, singing silliness on YouTube, or actually when my mom is in town, when she lives here, the other half of the year, the warmer season in Colorado, she lives in a retirement community, and they do karaoke once a month, and so I go. when she's here with people who are all from 60 and up. And it's the best time, man. I'm telling you, even jazzercise. Yep. I like jazzercise with 90-year-olds. I'm not kidding. It is the greatest time ever. You want to get some motivation? Go exercise with the elderly because they're awesome. There's this one lady, what is she? Well, she's not in the jazzer. I don't think jazzercise anymore, but she does get up and dance when they do their little talent shows and stuff like that. But she's 98-year-old tap dancer. And I think that's so awesome that she does something she loves and she's 98. I have a great grandma who is 101. Yeah, she lives in Oregon near Wade. Yeah, 101. Can you believe that? I'm going to check out the chat here. I'm sitting on my feet and my microphone's like, oh boy, I don't know what my cat is doing back there. Sandra, Allie, what are we doing? Oh boy, she's a little chubby and she jumps back there. She can't get out. Okay, I did say it right. Nishana, cool. Oh, Anita, Todd is my friend. Well, Todd is a good friend to have. He's a good dude. I haven't started my New Year's resolution either, but the year just started. There's time. Amen. Yeah. Yeah, you should get started on those. You should. What's stopping you? Coming up with excuses? No excuses. I'm just kidding, girl. You can do whatever you want. I live life with a pacemaker. So that's why I always tell people no excuses. Because if I can do something, and not have it bother me or stop me, then I'm telling you, you can. I literally, when I got my pacemaker moved, I had to have one arm in a sling and the other arm attached to me for not 1 week, but 6 weeks. One of them was eventually out of the thing, but I still couldn't move my arm up. So it was just attached to me. One of them was. Even when I slept. Oy, yeah, it's a blessing and a curse to, I try to be pretty fit, but one of the reasons I had to have it moved in the first place is I don't have enough in the upper region of my body for it to grab onto. It was right here and it had moved over time, and it was, not only was it pushing on veins and causing my heart rate to be really silly. And when my heart rate was silly, my pacemaker was trying to, I guess, fix that. I always say regulate, but my heart doctor's like, it's not regulate, Kim. And whatever, dude. It tries to make my beat, correct my beat, basically. And so it was crushing parts. And then what happened was it was pressing on nerves, and it was making me get kind of like I couldn't move my arm anymore without being in pain, and yeah, a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo. It was also waking me up when I slept a lot. It was making my heart pound really hard because it was somehow like pinching, and it would wake me up from a dead sleep. I was like, all nervous and freaked out. Well, it's just my pacemaker being silly. So I had to have it moved to this side, which is a little not as common. It was very scary. They have to, I have a more modern pacemaker. It's only like this big. It's, fairly flat. It's like right here. But the leads have to go through veins, to get to my heart. Well, the scariest part of the surgery was taking the leads out from where the pacemaker was before, because they have to like laser that out and pull them out. Now think of pulling something through, a small vein. Now the artery that it was in, the vein that it was in, is one of the main ones. And if they cut that vein, I would have bled out in 30 seconds. Like there would have been no helping me, no saving me. Well, they would have had to open my heart, like open me up, to try to stop it. So, boy, was that a mental roller coaster of a ride to sit there, and think, well, what if I go and do this surgery and I don't come back? Like, I didn't accomplish my bucket list and all that. And it was pretty scary. It really was really pretty scary to go through. I'm not going to sit here and say that I was completely awesome and just super strong through it. I had plenty of meltdowns because it's not me to like just sit around and kind of do nothing. So it was very hard for me to give control off and let everybody else help me. But I was very glad that I woke up. That's all I wanted to do from that surgery was to wake up. But I also prepared up until that surgery. So I had what I could. And, I have an amazing family and my best friend, and they came and helped me when I needed help. The biggest thing is my dad's always like, I just need somebody to babysit her so she doesn't move around. Like it drives me nuts to sit there and not help. Pretty much. If you notice, the dog has always got to watch the cat. Oh, yeah. You guys can't hear my music in the background, can you? I'm going to read the chat here. I was sort of dancing to my music. It's actually Wrecking Ball, but it's by somebody named Jasmine Thompson. She's doing a cover of it. My son loves Miley Cyrus, and so he likes that song. Yeah, you are up on the TV now. I need to figure that out. Or I know that I need to just do a HDMI, and I was trying to figure out, well, how could I set my laptop up maybe over here, and then I could see, and that way I could see the chat. Because I'm noticing I get all excited and like start moving, but I bump my desk and the camera moves. Oy. Baby steps on my whole setup, right? My ghetto-ness. Yeah, this is it. This is it. I mean, I have my lights, so I have these are one of I'll just show you the bulb. It's going to be really bright, but I found these bulbs for 99 cents at Goodwill. So a lot of times I like to set my laptop down here and then take pictures up. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. Mm-hmm. See what else. New Year's resolution is to not have one, and I have noticed. Yeah, you know what? I think actually that's a great way. That's what Nishana says. My New Year's resolution is to not have one, and I have noticed that it works well for me. You know what? I think that is not a bad idea. I think that a lot of people get really wrapped up in their New Year's resolutions, and when they don't accomplish it, they feel like a failure. And, that's no good. Was I awake for my surgery? No. I was not. I was awake for my very first ablation, but that was 2005. So, my very first heart surgery was to cover a 2.5-inch hole. I know, right? Think about that. 2.5 inches. It formed when I was born, and never closed. And so over time, from blood, being pushed to an area that wasn't supposed to go to, the hole became really large. And even the side of my heart, one side of my heart was, 4 times bigger than it was supposed to be. And of course, no, I mean, there were a lot of signs that kind of pointed to the fact that I had an issue. But if it wasn't for the fact that I had gotten pregnant with my daughter, and I had mentioned to my OB that I, had kind of sort of gotten checked into heart issues. It was my senior year. I was having some really rapid beat kind of craziness, and the doctor said I was stressed out. Yeah, well, who's laughing now, buddy? Anyways, so my OB decided to look into it, and found out that I had a 2.5-inch hole. Well, no wonder I felt like poo, right? I mean, when you're pregnant, your blood volume goes up seven times. So I was really sick. Luckily my daughter, both my kids are super, super healthy. I'm very blessed. They health-wise, even to this day, do quite well, except for the occasional getting sick. When my son gets sick, he gets sick. He has seizures when his temperature gets too high, which according to the doctor is common for my kid to start seizing. I don't know. That doesn't seem very common. I don't know. My dad has epilepsy, and he's had some seizures, and I also have had seizures, but it was quite a long time ago. And they say when my fibromyalgia was really, really bad and my migraines it was my brain's way of shutting my body down. I used to, my phone is ringing. Where's my phone? Oh, hurry. Oh, that's my bestie. All right, well, she's going to have to hold on. I was making sure it wasn't my man. Anyways, sorry, how rude. I forgot what I was talking about anyways. Squirrel! Yeah, I started on the whole "were you awake for surgery?" Yeah, no, for my first ablation I was, but all the other ones, no. They didn't want me to move in fear that they would slice my vein and kill me. So, obviously I'm still here. Woohoo, go them. Yeah, it was... I could go on and on about my medical nonsense, for real. Here's just a little example. I, at one time, took 27 different pills recommended by a doctor or another, but some of them were causing side effects, so then I'd have to take more. So in total, 27. Isn't that crazy? I take 0 now, and I'm really proud of that. I'm not saying that they're all bad. If you have to do what you have to do, then by all means, go, make sure to take care of you. But, once I had heart surgery and I got a pacemaker, that really made a huge difference in a lot of things. And then my fibromyalgia doesn't give me too many issues as long as I kind of steer clear of too much stress and be mindful of what I'm putting inside of my body. I mean, your body is like a car. If you put crappy gas in it, it's not going to run good. So, you need to take care of yourself. And that's the biggest thing. I used to make the heart valve replacement. The pacemakers today are very small compared to the original ones. True story. There's a little pacemaker thing on the wall in my cardiologist's office that shows all of the pacemakers. And one of them they used to stick in their stomach, right? And it was 5 pounds, or not inside of their stomach, but in their abdomen area. That is crazy. Yeah, when they were trying to figure out where to move mine, I just don't have a lot of choices was part of the thing. And because I'm so young, I'm 34, they, I have to have this over and over again. But wait, oh, that reminds me. So this is how cool technology is. So they have a pacemaker, and it's not out for the public yet, but it's in the workings, that is leadless, and it literally goes right inside of your heart. They have one now, but it's not a dual pacer, meaning I need a pacemaker that pumps shock both sides of my heart and makes it one side, it doesn't, the pacemaker doesn't kick in as often as the side where it's completely 100% dependent upon it. So that's really neat, that possibility that there's a pacemaker that I'll get and it will charge, just like, have you seen those phones where, I'm sure, but where you have a charger and you can just lay your charge or your phone on there and it charges? Well, that's what the pacemaker does, is they have a charger and they just set it right there on your pacemaker and it charges. So you don't have to continually have the same surgery. Like for me, it's every 6 to 8 years, which would be pretty hard, to it's really hard on your body to have so many surgeries. So pretty neat. We'll see. Like I said, I have 5.5 years on my pacemaker, but if the same thing happens to this side that happened to this side and messing up a whole lot of things, then I'll get my surgery sooner than later. But I want to try to push it off as long as I can, because it's hard. It's so hard. Like, it's weird to think about the fact that, I have so many years until I got to, have another one. And I don't know, if I start thinking about it too much and get too deep into it, then that's no good. I should just be grateful that I'm here, right? Yay, come here. All right, pacemaker is very small. Okay, had to switch to the computer. Have to get some work done. Yeah, I get it. I hear that one. I was on a lot of meds at one time for my health, but now only take a few. That's awesome. Good for you. Like I said, if you have to take them, then take them. Like, do it. But, also speak up, to your doctor about things. That's another thing I've learned through all this medical fiasco is, it's your body. Like, if you think something's wrong, you need to say something. If you don't like something, you need to say something. Like, don't be afraid. Doctors are just humans, just like the rest of us. Just because they're smarter, we place them on some high pedestal, like they got to take control of our life. And obviously, if they're suggesting something to you that's going to save your life, then by all means do it. But, do what you need to do. To just be all right. Yeah, I wish that doctors sometimes, would have listened necessarily to me the first time, because I've had so many things happen to me medically that I'm like really aware of when there's something that's not right. I've had the same regular doctor, for quite a few years now, and I love her because she takes more of a, holistic approach to things and understands that the last thing I want to do is to take a bunch of pills. Like, this was before my last surgery. I went to the ER and I came home with 7 prescriptions. Went to the ER for high blood pressure and came home with 7 prescriptions. One of them helped my blood pressure. The rest of them were for the side effects of the medication. Yeah, that's great, right? Needless to say, it didn't really help me, really. So that's another reason why there was attempts on 10 years after I had my first ablation. Then when I started to have issues again, we tried medication to fix the rapid beat, but you can only, I was having to go to the ER 4 times that my rapid beat would be too much. And it's really just, we're talking a 170 and higher. That's pretty quick. It stinks to feel like you're always running a marathon and like be out of breath, because that's kind of what it was like. don't you love the commercials for taking this and that help you? And one of the big side effects is death. Let me see. Take it to help my condition or eliminate the condition by death. Right. I think a lot of them, are kind of just a Band-Aid effect. They just cover, uh, the issue and don't really get down to it. Like, I want to get down to the nitty and gritty. I want to get down to figuring out exactly what's, a little off. And once I got my digestive system together, and that's by, sort of watching what I eat and stuff like that. And just being mindful, not drinking soda and all these things, that made a huge difference. Huge difference. And a lot of the autoimmune issues. I learned about a lot of those, not only because, here we go, here's another medical problem I had. So when I was pregnant with my son, I had gestational diabetes and preeclampsia, double whammied. And so I had to see a nutritionist and watch every single thing that I was putting in my body. And I did that because I, was carrying this child. It was my duty to make sure I could do the best and give him everything that he needed. And so it kind of worked out. It stunk that I was so sick, but I'm glad that I went through it because it taught me a lot about label reading and how some of them labels sure are tricky, with their organic or whatever it is. I mean, the best thing to do is to take the one that's organic and take the thing that's not and compare it really and then look at it, because they sure like to throw some words around that you aren't necessarily that great for you. But yeah, the commercials are terrible. I always see them all the time, and you got to read that. I like how the white writing on the very bottom is really not good. Like, really. There was one diet pill I saw once. It was like during an infomercial. It was, I don't know, 3:00 in the morning or something. This was quite a few years ago. It was a diet pill, and it was one of those, only 4 payments of, I think it was $29.99. I want to say that it was like 4 payments of $29.99, for 60 pills. But the side effect was, and what they stated in the commercial was, that you need to bring an extra pair of pants wherever you went. Oh, an extra pair of pants for a diet pill. We got the ghetto train going by because I live in the ghetto, I don't know if y'all can hear it, but just warning that if the screen starts going or you hear the silly train, there's a lot of people who like to park in the middle, or not park, but stop in the middle of the train track further down the road. And so the guy blasts on the horn. So if you hear that, don't be freaked out. I lost over 135 by cutting a lot of meds out, and my hubby helped also by telling the doc about the crud that was going on with all the different meds. That's cool. See, yeah, you just got to speak up sometimes. That's right on. Good for you for losing 135. Wow, that's awesome. Woo woo. More and more I read about you, more and more I like you. Nishana says, I don't have high blood pressure, but the doctors always want to do preventative medicine. I told my doctor no to the medicine, and she suggested taking a prescription water pill, which I agreed to. Right? Yeah, my mom used to, I think it was my mom. I'm pretty sure I have to take those. She had high blood pressure especially when she was a little heavier. She is a rock star, my mother is. She took it upon herself to exercise multiple times a week and to lose a bunch of weight. I can't remember what she's up to now, but it's quite a lot. I know last time it was like 70 pounds or something like that, which I think is really awesome considering how bad her rheumatoid arthritis is, which has got to be really hard. She also blew out her knee many moons ago, which is why they didn't have or one of the reasons they stopped having their consignment shop, my parents, because it was just too hard on her. But it worked out in the end because I think she's much happier selling, on eBay and Amazon. She's really successful at Amazon. She likes Amazon a lot better because, she lives in Arizona for part of the time and then here in Colorado for the other part of the time. And she doesn't have to worry about trying to necessarily find an item and ship it like you do on eBay. And she can just take all of her items and put them in a big box and ship it off. So that's neat. That's one of the reasons why I want to get into it, especially because I've been an extreme couponer. I mean, extreme couponer before. We're talking like the crazy fools on the show. I was a little obsessed, little borderline hoarderish on the coupons. Like I had a big old coupon book. It makes me think of Alma and her couponing videos, which I think is really awesome that she does that. Yeah, save a little bit. I mean, I was to the extreme where I was like taking, 30 to 40 hours a week, and which is a lot of time. But I was saving so much money that it was like a part-time job, so it was worth it at the time. It's just really not necessary. So I got my little eBay tips out here. There was another thing that I noticed over the weekend that I didn't pay attention to in some of my beginning posts. So I'd go and find, my item on eBay, find a listing similar to it or whatever, and not really pay too much attention to their details, which again, there's that spending the quality research, quality of product doesn't necessarily mean you need some super expensive, we're talking like diamonds is quality. Of course, diamonds are awesome, but quality in what you do necessarily, like taking the time to pay attention to what you're doing. Like you're going to make mistakes. I get it. Everybody does. That's how we learn, right? But yeah, so I noticed I had a few of them with bold titles, and that is a no. Don't do the bold, meaning every single letter in your title of your listing is in capital letters, because that comes across like screaming at somebody. And although, we can't actually hear the person saying the title, your brain literally thinks that it's like almost a bad thing, that you're being so. And that for me even is kind of a throw off. It's like, do you want to go to a restaurant, when this has happened before, restaurant, and you hear people yelling, the people who work there or the manager or whatever it is, like you don't want nothing part of that. You're not going to even come back to that probably if you're giving, a kind of a vibe like that. And people don't like it. They'll skip past it. And that's why I think some of those have sat, because I just realized that, hello, Kim. Hello, McFly. Can't be yelling at people. That's a no. No, don't do it. I think if you're just starting out and you have to, if you're just starting out, I think mobile is easier to start out on. That's just kind of my opinion. I think that because it shows kind of a lot more things right in front of your face instead of having to sort of search for it. There's plenty of videos and people who do videos of how to walk through it, and all that. And just, I think knowledge is definitely power. For sure. I give the people props who, have these courses and all those things. And if you're, not, in my opinion, if you're totally lost or scared or you have the money to do it, then cool. But I don't think it's really honestly necessary, especially if you're, starting from scratch. And I mean, the investment is like really nothing. If people won't start something because they think they have to invest all this money into it, but you don't. Like I went and basically dumpster dived. I know some people might not like that. It's clean dumpsters, just literally cardboard, isn't it? Or recycling stuff. Dumpster dive for packing materials. And then on top of that, I have a few connections. So for me, a few connections in the sense of I can get shipping materials even now for like nothing that are pretty much brand new. It's just from businesses who shut down or shutting down or didn't need the size of that or whatever it is. That's a pretty cool connection to have because it's one of the reasons why I can price some things at what I price them at. I really need to go sourcing for the bigger items. I am a slacking. All my really big priced items or higher priced items, I pretty much sold. It's been killing me not to go thrifting, but I wanted to have my stuff together so that I could be clear headed. You know, I wanted to have everything organized. So I did, I haven't done any sourcing in a minute. And I bet that some of the people who, as the thrift stores I go to, are wondering, like, what happened to that lady? Where'd she go? Yeah, I have a little note that says, slow down. More mistakes are made if you rush. True story. For real. I've been lucky to not make too many, mistakes that really hurt my pocket too bad, but slowing down definitely helps. Don't be so rushed, set yourself a goal, not some crazy goal, and get it done. Like the biggest thing about, when it comes to eBay is just being consistent. And it's not even necessarily like, okay, let's say you can only find 10 items to be able to post for the whole week. Like just be mindful of when you post them, or some people use the excuse, well, I work all day and I can't, post, or I work at night and I can't post at certain times. You can schedule them. It's 10 cents to schedule a post. That's easy enough. Being consistent and checking in with eBay. eBay is just like social media in that aspect, Instagram and Facebook and all those. It wants activity. And if there's times where I'm not sure if I have anything or something comes up and I feel like I can't, list something new or whatever it is, then I'll take something down that has been up for a while. I'll end the listing and then I'll sell similar. I wouldn't suggest necessarily to do that with items who have a bunch of watchers, because people get kind of mad, but that's just my opinion. I don't know everything. I just know a little bit. I was going through my cups, and that's one of the things that new listings I'm going to put up is mugs because we have too many. And again, here's another breakable item. Like I was saying earlier, I swore to myself I'd never be posting stuff that was breakable because I don't want to take that risk. And it's funny how many things I find that you have a chance. Like, why be afraid to post it? You just got to be smart about how to ship it. But like this, here's one of these. Isn't this guy funny? Okay, so it says something on the inside, but I don't know. I need to get Google Translate. So yeah, I was going through my mugs and trying to spring clean, winter clean. Is that what you want to call it? I guess. We always get a lot of new mugs around Christmas, which is awesome. I love mugs. They make me happy. But I don't know what that says. Not even sure I know what language it is part of the problem. But it's cute. Eye appeal is another thing. Your pictures, you want them to be clear of the object. Try to make that first photo that's going to show, because if people are going mobile, you have to be mindful that people look at things on their phone and the laptop. And so you want your pictures to really showcase your item. Not every picture has to be necessarily totally perfect, but that first one really should take up the item should take up the whole picture in that first one. Because on mobile, it's just a lot better. And even on I think on the computer, on a PC, but again, there's that quality. Like, take the time to do it. It's worth it. I know that if you get things that are not as high dollar, you feel like you just want to rush. Well, maybe you should step back and think about the fact that, like, maybe you shouldn't be necessarily posting so many of these little tiny, not as high dollar items if it's not worth your time and you're not going to take the time, to sort of do it right. Don't have to be perfect, but there's a lot of little things that people are like, I don't want to start my own shop. It's going to be too hard and all this. And it's not. Just do it. Just do it. For those in the future, those that come across my channel and think, maybe I'd like to sell stuff. I love it. There is something about being a treasure hunter that just gets me up and going. Really. I'm going to have to warm up my tea. We'll probably take my tea bag out. Excuse me, while I be rude and walk away. You wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love. Y'all still there? Just want to some tea. Shall I stay? Would it be a sin? Alright, trying to find some tea. Sweet tangerine, positive energy, supports elevated mood. Alexa, play my playlist. La 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 la. I always think of The Little Mermaid whenever I'm going through my stuff and the whole I've got gadgets and gizmos aplenty. I've got who's and what's it's galore. One thingamabob, I got 20. But who cares? No big deal. I want more. I want to be where the people are. Inside of Goodwill, thrifting treasures. So that was good. That was good. I'm impressed with myself. Extreme couponing isn't allowed in Wisconsin. I guess there is a law about it here. That is silly. Wow, really? Wow, I gotta adjust my nose thing here. That's crazy. Yeah, I haven't really extreme couponed in quite some time. It's a lot of effort, but I do still coupon, just at a much smaller rate. There are a few things that I have sold on eBay, actually, from couponing. So, candy was one. Gummies. Haribo does pretty good, even still to this day. It's not worth it if you have to just kind of buy it outright, like at what it's regular priced. But if you can get it for really cheap, then people will pay. Let's see. I was trying to think. I really hope my music's not too loud, but I think it is. It's playing a little bit of country. Years go by, oh, nothing sweeter. I'm an American honey. Alexa, play next song. Alexa, play next song. Alexa, play next song. She's being difficult. Oh, here's an Elvis song. Oh, baby, let me be your loving teddy bear. My cat loves this song. Put a chain around my neck. Leave me anywhere. Let him be. Hey, yo, a teddy bear. Don't want to be a tiger. Cause I just play too rough. My cat's looking at me all crazy. Don't want to be a lion. Lions ain't going to live alone. Yeah, the little Shamrock Pixie says, how funny. I was thinking that you sounded like the Little Mermaid, and then you said it. Yeah. I used to, when I was little, the Little Mermaid first came out. I would go and I would take a bath, and I was small enough to where I could kind of lay across the bathtub, and I would shake my hair in the water. You know, because she always had the most like beautiful red hair. My hair is always curly, and if I didn't put something in it, it would be about this big. I mean, if only some of the 80s trends would come back with that big giant hair, I would rock it. But yeah, I used to pretend to be Ariel, and I would sing. I would sit there as I was motioning my hair in the tub, and I'd be all, Yep. I wanted to grow up and be Ariel. The only problem was I don't like water. I don't like sharks. I'd rather just stay on land and look at the water. Like going on a cruise is not my thing. I don't see myself doing that. It sounds like a bunch of germs. You hear of all those boats lately that are making so many people sick. I mean, you are sick, stay home. For real. Yeah! Yeah, Pixie, that's right. She says, my hubby and I were watching a movie from the 80s, and I told him that I was going to bring back some of the 80s styles and looks, and he laughed at me. I think you're onto something. I mean, if only we could go back, especially the hairstyle, you know, where you have like, I mean, poofy. Just, yeah, hair. And then I could just get out of the shower and do absolutely nothing. It takes me like an hour to straighten my hair, and one of my New Year's resolutions is to not give an F anymore. I'm so tired of like really honestly just kind of caring about things that don't really matter. It's not that I'm never going to straighten my hair, but here I was so many years, 34 years of my life trying to make my hair straight. Not only was I killing it, but I could never get it really longer than what it's at. And it's pretty long right now. Like, which is awesome. But I was killing the ends of it by straightening it so much. And so now I use a brush. Like I got a brush for in the shower, and so I brush it while I'm in the shower, and then I get out because it's way, way easier on my hair. Yeah, let's bring it back. Yeah! Have an 80s jam out party. Okay, I don't know if they raised the roof, but I think that would be a great idea. Anita says, nice, great singing. Thank you. Singing makes me so nervous, but it's funny how this is way easier to sing, in front of a camera than it is if there was a huge audience in front of me, because I would be pooping my pants. Okay, I wouldn't really poop, but I would feel like I wanted to. It makes me very nervous, very, very nervous to sing in front of a bunch of people and being on the stage as often as I have. That's pretty silly, but it is what it is. My friend wants me to do the national anthem at this dive meet, this like state dive meet or something like that. And oh, that sounds so scary. The national anthem is really one song that I just don't want to goof up. Like, I sang it once. Well, I've sang it more than once, but I sang it once at a drag racing, a raceway called Bannermere. I don't know if Todd is still here, but Todd, you ever been to Bannermere Speedway, Mister? I kind of figure maybe you have. If you like cars and you like to go fast, I'm guessing that more than likely you have. So yeah, I used to work. That was one of my first jobs, was at Bannermere Speedway, and I sang the national anthem, and that was pretty scary. But they make you either A, sing in the box, or B, right on the front line. So the crowd in the audience was a lot further away, but like, people say, oh, just pretend they're all naked. That makes it weirder. Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to sing in front of a bunch of people who are naked. Put some clothes on. Nice. Me too. Long time ago, but I did high school drags. My mom was really awesome. She went to nationals a couple times. She totally was amazing at it. And she started out with a 1999 Camaro. It was like brand spanking new. Or maybe it was 98. They're both really similar. And it was like black cherry. Oh, it was party. She started out drag racing that, which was cool. And then she moved up to a Chevy. Let's see, it was a Chevy Camaro. Wait, small. I know it had a small black Chevy engine in it. It was named Wicked Illusion. She had so many cars, I'm trying to remember them all. It was cool. It had this ghost paint, of Wicked Illusion. So when it went down the track, the words would appear and disappear as it went. It was so cool. I used to always sing to all the people. I'd be like, bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when my mom smokes you? She's incredible. She did, she went to Funny Cars, and that was pretty cool. I really think it's really awesome that, nothing against the men in the world, but being female, that she did that, because man, did them boys give her a hard time. But when she whomped on them, it was amazing. She made so many of them red light. They just got intimidated, really, and would red light. It was awesome. And she did really well. I got to drive, a few of the cars that she drove, which was cool to do. Very scary, very, I used to be, and I still kind of am, an adrenaline junkie, but, kids calm me down a lot. And also the fact that, I have heart problems. I try not to do too many crazy things. I mean, on my bucket list was to go skydiving, and I just don't. That's one of the things I'm not supposed to do. So I'll just have to figure out another one. Oh, yeah. All right. I think I've drank too much tea or something. I need to be getting out some stuff to be listing here. Scoping out I'm going to do it off my phone. I like to actually check my listings from my phone. When I'm doing inventory. Because on the laptop, oh, my goodness, why are we doing this phone? Excuse me. I'm trying to get my phone to be not difficult. Hello, 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 my love. My love. Oh, I have a notification. Oh, okay. My love. Anyway, so I like to check it on my phone because I think, okay, so for example, I notice that when I post something or relist something, sell similar item, and then go and I delete the post, from the unsold part because I've ended it. That it does it on the laptop, but on my phone, it erases the one, but not all the other ones if it's already been relisted, at some point or another. But it seems to keep a lot more than the laptop. I don't really know that. I wish that eBay would make them a little more consistent, like both of them, from mobile um, to PC. But like I've made, I think most of my mistakes, honestly, because I was trying to either start it, in one place and then do it mobile or the other, because they're kind of different. Like it doesn't flag you as easy on a PC, and I don't think flagging is the right word. What is it? Recommend, I think, is what it does in your mobile, where it says recommended information or something like that, or required information. It's easy on a PC as it does in your phone, and that's why I tell people if they first start that they should just start maybe mobile if they don't have all phones take wonderful pictures now. You don't need all that stuff. My first few pictures, the lighting was from a light table that I pulled from. Well, I didn't pull it from the trash. My man did. Pulled it from the trash. He loves to bring home stuff to you. We're borderline hoarderish. I don't want to say full, like this. We're good. I don't have any other rooms that are like stacked full of stuff. I have everything pretty much organized. I do inventory things. I use a little just a little piece of paper. This is actually a note card. Again, another item that was stuffed in one of the 99-cent bags, like that. I just have so much paper and all kinds of stuff. So I didn't want to go buy labels and all that. I'm frugal. So yeah, I just, took a note card and I cut it a few times. And then I usually will use a paper clip to put it to the item, whether it's maybe if it's breakable like this, I will put it into a bubble thing and just set it gently inside of a container. And I actually just use the smaller, I'll show you. So I get a lot of my storage stuff. If I do have to buy something, I'll get it from, Goodwill or even the dollar store, Dollar General, or Dollar Tree. There we go. Hello, brain fart. What in tarnation? She can't remember nothing. Oh. So yeah, I just put them in to these. They're like file size. And the only reason I have them as the smaller ones is for a couple reasons. Number one is you notice that they don't go like super far in. I notice in containers that, kind of go in like this and they're not straight. You can't fit the same amount of things in it. So when I do use bigger ones, they're those flip top ones because they're a lot straighter on the sides. But I like these ones because I have a huge gap underneath my bed. And so I fit these all underneath it and they slide out real nice. I don't have this one labeled yet. This is the newest one that I have started. But I like it. And then I just okay. if I'm worried, for example, this is a game. Oh, sorry, this is a magazine. So I'll put my little, and then I have my numbers on it. I'll set it in this so that it doesn't get all squished up or whatever. Or I'll find little boxes, to set things in so that they don't break, and then stick it in there. That also really helps, I think, to do that when you don't have a lot of room, because it sort of forces you when you're out and about to think to yourself, do I have room for this? Now, if an item if you're going to make big bucks from it, then, and it's going to sell quick, then size doesn't necessarily matter. But if you're just starting out, I think size kind of does matter. eBay has that recommended, they'll do the recommended shipping, and that's fine and dandy. I think it also depends on, for me, I live pretty central. So the cost of shipping for me from here to the East Coast or the West Coast is the same. So I don't have to worry too much about that. And I've done this enough times to where, I know kind of, I just can pick something up and kind of guess. I wish in the beginning I would have stuck to the 5 pound or less kind of rule, just so that it wasn't so, I guess, stressful on me to try to figure that out, but you got to learn somehow, right? Yeah. I have, for example, we found a typewriter in a dumpster. Those big, giant, heavy items like that. It is really, it's cool, but that one in particular, what was it when I looked it up? I think people local were selling it for maybe 50, which is pretty good money, but I'd rather just do it local than to try to figure that out on eBay. Again, location for me, I have access to a lot of things. So it's pretty awesome and beneficial for me. I understand people who live in small towns. If I lived still in the town in Kansas and had to eBay, it would be a little harder. I'd for sure be able to probably come across way more antique stuff, though, because, man, do people have these garages and buildings and, extra rooms stuffed. So the thing that I noticed in some of these smaller towns, especially in the one that I lived in, was a lot of the people, had lived there generations, their families and stuff like that. And they didn't necessarily like outsiders. So if somebody moved out or, in the house next to them, if they could afford that property, because it's so cheap to buy houses, they'll buy it and just leave it, just so that nobody will ever move in there and they'll have that much more room. Well, a lot of them would kind of make those houses as their stash houses. If they didn't keep the house, and what they would do, which really makes you wonder about what's in the ground, is they would dig a big hole and they bury the house. Demolish a thing and just bury it. I'm sure it will be cool to see what's in some of those. I don't know what would really last. Glass bottles, probably. I've found a couple glass bottles under porches and stuff that I've redone, or that we redid when I lived in Kansas. That was neat. I have, you can't see it. I'll show you. Right here. Oh, up here are some old glass bottles. The one in the middle is cool. So it's actually from the ocean. Somebody found it in the ocean, my man's friend. Found it, I think that's what he said. Found it in the ocean, so it looks kind of beat up, but it is really cool and antique for sure. Well over, it's early, what was it? Gosh, I know it's before 1900s, but maybe one time I'll do a lesson on bottles and glass, because my family used to, in that store, used to sell a lot of glass things. But here's the bottles. Anyways, it's pretty beat up, but it has that little pontile thing, the way that they made the glass that stick it, on a metal rod. I can't remember what the rod's called, but that's why this one's so deep. You can kind of basically tell a lot about the age of bottles, especially if you just sort of pay attention to how the thing is made. A lot of it you could tell by, like, if it's pressed, if it has a seam on both sides, it's going to be way newer. Not way, but within the last 100 years, or even, I guess if it's 2019. Hello, welcome back. I was talking about bottles. But one of the ways you could tell is really just for sure how it is made, how the top is made. I wish that you could see this better. I should have got down the other ones. I'll just do that, and then I can really show you. So I like bottles, but there's pros and cons to it. Some of them aren't worth nothing. You think they're worth something? Older is way better, obviously. Condition is also pretty important. Visual aspect is important. But here, so these are actually pretty good to show the difference in comparison. All right, so this is what I mean. I don't know if you can see this, the seam in this. So this one is, what was it, 1920s, I think, maybe early 30s. But I know that it's fairly old because of the way that the top is. Now, although it's pressed, together like this, the seams are, the bottle or the top of it is different, and it's stretched. I wish you could see. You can see the little bubbles in it, but the seam doesn't go all the way through. It goes and stops right here. This one, although cool, this is more of a visual one because it says like Philadelphia and stuff on it. This one, the seam goes all the way through. This one, there's no seam. Like the whole thing was blown, stuck together while hot, there's no, you can see the bubbles all the way kind of, well, maybe not, but also the fact that this pontile, this thing, I can't remember if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's like this thick. It goes all the way up here. These, obviously there is none. There's some cool ones. Having a cork or the lid will make it more valuable. Like, I'll show you my favorite one. And it's a tiny one. All those other ones found in the dirt. Literally, there is so my man is a hiker. He loves to hike, and he would go. He used to live up in the mountains in Colorado, and would go up to areas, and there would be, like, of course you have to be careful about where you go when you're digging, but anyways, so again, just like the Kansas thing, people would bury their houses or they bury their trash too, which he's found every single bottle except for that green one I just showed you from the ground. But it's cool though. I mean, that's literally a legit real treasure. But this one is my favorite one. It has this little skull on it. Poison. What does it say? Iodine. Right? I wish though that I had the cork to it because it makes it so much more valuable. Way more valuable if I had the cork to it than not. I think it's really neat, so I'm not going to sell it, anytime soon. This is another item that my man, found from digging in the dirt. We have all kinds of them. There's like these. You would think that these were worth way more than they really are because people automatically assume, ooh, cobalt, expensive. Well, this is just a VIX, like a VIX in the, was it 80s or maybe late 70s? They started putting every, in these blue type of bottles. So they're not worth like nothing. They're just pretty. Not that cobalt glass is not worth it, because it is. But you got to get the real cobalt, blue type glass. Oh, these are cool. See, now I'm on this whole showing you. Show and tell. These are cool. So these are local finds. Again, found in the dirt. By a company, from a company here in the Denver area that doesn't exist anymore. But it was, as you can see, this one does have a cork, and it still even has some of the original stuff in it. But these were used as a vaccination for blackleg in animals, horses, basically like gangrene, except for a horse. So yeah, a cure. I don't know if you'd call it a vaccination, medication, I guess. Pretty neat. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Oh yeah, I forgot that these ones had the little thing on the bottom. Had a little star. I spent far too much time trying to research these bottles, and it just wasn't. Number one, they're hard to take pictures of. Number two, I'm just not versed enough in it. And number three, like, if I had a lot of them, it would be maybe different. But, the internet took over kind of on a lot of antiques and older things. And so they're a lot easier to find than you think. So we're just going to sit on them for now. Shamrock Pixie says, I love liquor bottles and collect them. Each one I have has a story with it. I think it is cool how you found them. Yeah, it's like treasure, right? I like them too. I really think they're neat. I have some Coca-Cola bottles. Again, up there, it's up there. Oh, my light is just. Oh yeah, I guess you can't really see them at all. They aren't worth like anything. Just not old enough, really. Again, it's an item people look and they're like, Coca-Cola, worth $1 billion. Well, it doesn't have really a whole lot of visual appeal, and it was in the era where there's a million of them. Like it was in, came in one of those little 6-packs. I think those are the 90s, if I remember right. There's my little, right. Oh, I'm opening. That's my little coffee percolator, which is cool. That thing is, 1920s, if I remember right. Neat. Doesn't have the cord, but, who really wants to plug that in? But again, there's another thing that just kind of makes a difference in the value. But I'm pretty sure I have that listed. My big items, because of my, here's a tip. Because of my storage issues on bigger items, the ones that I have kept that I am going to still sell or sell local, I have put up in areas where it's not going to break. This is a big, thick shelf that goes, in between my living room and my kitchen, which is on the other side. And my kitchen goes all the way through to, to this wall, to this wall. So since my Christmas stuff came down not too long ago, I've been sort of putting back some of the stuff that I'm going to try to sell. I'm pretty sure I have that listed. And then that is also listed. There's a little decanter, which I thought was kind of cool. It does have the top and all that. It wasn't worth as much as I thought it was going to be, but that's all right. Still worth some money, right? So this is pretty neat. It's a little, has a little elephant on it. I really like music boxes. I've been kind of obsessed for a long time. And when I was little and I would find them in Goodwill, I used to call Goodwill Big Wheel. When I would find them in Big Wheel, if they were broken, I would fix them. And so when I started eBaying, one of the first big things I sold was a music box that it was a Russian music box, and it was like a little gold piano looking thing, and it didn't work. I saw it in the thrift store, and then I didn't get it. And the next time I came back, because I saw that like the first time it was broken, and I was all, I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't know what's really wrong with it. Well, the next time I came back, it was on the 99-cent price. So it was the color of a day or whatever it is. So I got it. And I took it home and I fixed it, and it sold for quite a good amount. There's a lot of my listings. So in July, my eBay got hacked. Yes, it got hacked. Let me play this for you real fast, and then I'll put it up. So it plays how dry I am. Anytime you pick it up, because when you set it down, it doesn't play, and then it's this little thing. When you lift it up, this thing comes out, and it plays a song called How Dry I Am. I think it's funny. I'm not a drinker, even though you would think maybe I am, because I got all this stuff. I'm not. I maybe at one time probably could have been called that, but it's just another thing that I like to think clearly, and it's... My phone's going out. Oh, let me check this. Right fast. I'll see multiple things happen, and I pulse squirrel, because now I don't remember what I was just talking about before that. Is that a gargoyle up there? Yeah, that's the Watcher. Our little dude up here, he's the Watcher. He's our little Watcher. He watches over. He takes all the bad in and just keeps good vibes going on. I think he's really cute. I don't know. I'm a little weird. Like I have an eclectic taste, I guess. Yeah, exactly. The protectors from evil. Exactly. Yeah. I always thought it would be cool in my dream house to have, two cool looking like kind of gargoyles. I'm sitting out on the front. It's a dream I have. You love gargoyles. That is awesome. I don't know a whole lot of people who do, because I think they're kind of evil looking or dark. And I think it's just all how you kind of look at things. Like we have these little resin type of skulls and stuff like that. And people have asked me, why do you have that and all that? It's so dark. And I'm not afraid of death or anything. And I think that if you look into other religions and stuff like that, or other things that people do spiritually or whatever it is, you'll find that I guess worshiping the dead there. I'm not a worshiper of the dead, but I don't find all that so scary. Like, I don't want it to be a negative thing. In fact, whenever we go by a cemetery, if I'm in the car with my kids, we wave to the cemetery, and I always tell them, "Hi, friends! I hope you're having a great time dancing up there in heaven. And when my time is right, or when the time happens, and I will meet you all up there, and we will dance the day away." Because I don't want them to ever think that it's so scary. Yeah, it's a little creepy, but I don't want them to be worried. There is some Spice Girls playing in the background. If you want to be my lover, gotta get with my friends. Alexa, restart song. Yo, tell me what you want, what you really, really want. That's probably way loud now. What you really, really want? Tell me what you really, really want. I really, really, really want to sing. You want my future? Forget my past. If you want to get with me, better make it last. Be just fine. Really want to sing a sing. Gotta get with my friends. Yeah, they scare all the evil away. Yeah, gargoyles are awesome. I want two at the end of my driveway on each side. That would be cool. There's somebody that lives not too far that has these big, like, lion looking ones on the pillars of their gated driveway. And I just think that is so cool. She says, I love graveyards. It's history and it's sad when no one comes to visit. I used to go and put a flower on graves that you could tell no. Are you serious? I used to do that. For real. I really did that. Like, I would get flowers or from my own garden or buy flowers, and me and my friend would go to the cemetery and we would put flowers on the headstones or the graves that looked like nobody had ever visited. Kind of, it was kind of sad. Like, that's one of the reasons why I don't necessarily want to be buried in the cemetery. Not that I think that nobody would visit me, but I'd rather be cremated and spread somewhere, and always flowing through life. I don't want my kids to ever go somewhere and be sad about something. Like, play me into a tree or something and throw me in the river a little bit. I don't know. I don't want them to be sad. And that's another reason why I even have this YouTube channel, and why I'm not sure if I'm going to just be so specific in a niche of just reselling. Like, this is reseller life. Like, because of my reseller life, I'm allowed to do A, B, and C. Because I want them, to remember the things we did together, and I don't know, just to kind of vlog or, see how my journey goes. Like, I'm one of the worst people at forgetting all the things that I've been through. And I'm very hard on myself sometimes. I really am, and trying to be perfect. And that's another one of my goals this year, is to just be okay, to not worry so much about me specifically being perfect. It's not my thing to, for example, put on all this makeup every day and worry about the fact that my teeth aren't perfect, or whatever it is. Like, if you guys don't like it, number one, you can just listen to me if you want to. If you don't like to listen to me, then you don't have to watch me at all. My saying is, if you don't like me, one less person I have to worry about. It's your loss. Like, that may sound selfish, but I don't. When you just never know when your last day is, you kind of just realize, especially if you've been faced with death so many times, you just kind of realize that just a lot of stuff doesn't matter. It just really doesn't. Miss Pixie says, are we related somehow? Right? What is the deal with that? Are you my brother from another mother? Maybe not my brother. My sister from another mister? That's really cool. It makes me really excited that, number one, you're in here, to everybody who's watching for sure. But reseller life is kind of lonely. Like, people look at me all crazy sometimes, just like, you do what? What do you do? You sell stuff? And they don't really take it like serious. Like, it's not a hobby to me. It's my job, I like it, and I treat it like a job. It's not, but a lot of people don't understand that. They just don't. They don't understand, going out and buying something at a bargain, or even, posting something that you don't love anymore. And then getting that message from whoever it is, that they got your item, and that just, either they lost theirs so long ago, or they just love it. Like, it makes my day. Makes my day when that happens. I love it so much. That's another thing about my, making it personal. personal to the customers. And I get sometimes if you're shipping out a whole bunch of stuff that it's way harder, but I know that Todd actually, he said one time in a video how he was, I don't know, the night before making his thank you cards, and he, you have beautiful handwriting. You do all that, the special type of writing, but you just sit down and you do it and you just smash them out, and I think that that's awesome. Again, people have so many excuses. Well, there's a perfect solution to people feeling that they don't have time. Do it a little bit ahead of time and just leave a spot where, you could put in their name. But depending on what it is, especially if it's an item I've had and I can relate to, I'll write one sentence, say like, thank you, Clarita, for your purchase of the glass beaded earrings. They were mine when I was a kid. I'm glad to see they're going to a new home. Please let me, this is what I write in every single one of them. Please let me know that they arrive safe, because it forces people almost to want to respond to you. And more times than not, they do. My, right now, if you look at my store, it's not a great example. Oh, I remember I was going to tell you earlier, though, about my eBay got hacked in July. I think it was July. I'm pretty sure, or August. My eBay got hacked and it deleted everything. So I didn't have any way to access specifics of what had sold. So if you looked at it took away my top seller. It was such a fiasco. It took away my top seller account. I literally worked so hard to get that. And I don't know if it came back or if I had hit that yet, but I was pretty mad. I think it was it August? I don't know. Either way, my eBay got hacked and all of my stuff went away. And I tried to figure out how to bring that back up. Luckily, for tax purposes and all that, type of financial part, I can pull from my PayPal. But wow, I wanted to quit. I wanted to just say, I'm done. Because I was like, you know what? Now I'm never going to start YouTube because nobody's ever going to believe me that I know what I'm doing. And, I'm like, I don't, whatever. I've done eBay for a year. Like I said before that, I listed for somebody and my mom and family was into it. I do local sales, and I tried to let it go. But there's some other selling platforms, Facebook Marketplace. So it's not like I'm just don't know. I don't know everything. I learn every day, for real, every day about something new. I learned something the other day about, even just items that sell. Like some of the stuff I'm like, really? I just can't even believe some things that sell. I sold toilet paper a couple months back. Toilet paper. It was vintage toilet paper, but it was toilet paper nonetheless. My man was like, you are not going to be able to sell that. And I was like, watch me. So I put that up and I put it under the category on eBay, like weird and strange items, and it sold within a day, maybe two. Yep, toilet paper. It had on the outside, it had like brown paper on it that had advertising, not brown, sorry, paper on it that had advertising on it. And it was really pretty funny. Yeah, I sold like 4 rolls for, I don't know, $20. I got these one of the last times I went to the thrift store. I see all these people with the shoes and, posting shoes, and I've definitely learned. But shoes is one of the things I don't like necessarily to post. But these were in really beautiful. These are some Merrells. I got them for 50 cents. 50 cents, right? But they're pretty good. I still have to look at some comps and stuff, but my daughter thinks they're old lady shoes. I love that it's becoming more and more popular to have these really kind of vibrant types of colors. I love it. As Alma would say, isn't it cute? She's so cute. She does. I don't even know if she knows I exist, but because I watch her not usually live. It's funny how when you continue to watch somebody or you watch people, you feel like you get to know them, but yeah, they don't even know you're even alive. They're like, I didn't even know you were watching me. Have I ever been up to the Central City graveyard? I haven't. I haven't been to Central City in quite some time. Wow, I want to say it's been like 10 years, maybe less than that, going up Central City and gambling. Last time I went to gamble, actually, you know what? It was less time than that because my son was born and he's 7, almost 8. So it might have been like 7 years ago, something like that. So I went up gambling and I haven't really, I think that was my second time I'd ever been up there or something. But I went up gambling at Central City and I put $20 in this penny machine and I was like, oh, penny machine? This is going to last me a while. I mean, I've been frugal for a really long time. So for me to go gambling and spend money and not have an actual something in my hand to show for it was like crazy. So I put $20 in the machine and hit some button and, you know, it like spun a little thing. Woo, I was all excited, like, woo! And it spent all my money. I somehow had, I don't know what I clicked on or what it was, but in the matter of 30 seconds, my $20 went away. And all I could think about was how many diapers I am now not going to buy or be able to buy. Well, basically, it was a big pack of diapers, $20 then. I don't know what they are now, but I felt bad. I couldn't even believe that it had gone. So I do like I've been to Vegas, and if I do go gambling, I'd rather play cards, honestly, than, I'd rather do something that's going to last me a minute. So we play penny poker around here. Yep. We have this big old thing of pennies. I mean, is it bad? Am I going to get in trouble for saying that I play penny poker with my kids? We have a good time though. It's just pennies, little stacks of pennies, and I always tell them whatever you win, and it's always my money that I start with, but whatever you win, you can keep. So they stick it in their little penny jars. Todd says we went there a few times in high school way back in the 80s. Central. He must be talking about the Central City graveyard. Cool. Yeah, I'll have to maybe scope that out. Like once the weather gets better, I do like to go up into the mountains. We go hiking a lot. I really love hiking. St. Mary's Glacier is not too far up out of the mountains, and it's one of the most amazing places ever. So if you guys ever come to the Denver area and want to find somewhere to hike that's fairly easy, I think it's like half a mile. I want to say kind of at an angle that's a little rocky, but even a little kid could do it. Not maybe super tiny. You might have to pick them up through parts of it, but people bring their dogs. Even my little dog could do it. But it's really neat because it's this big giant glacier with a little lake underneath, and people actually ski that glacier all year long, which is a little strange, or snowboard down it. But it doesn't take very long to get up even to the little lake, and it is just, it's breathtaking. It really is. There's a spot where people can cliff dive and stuff like that, but the water is really clear, and there's not a whole lot of lakes or bodies of water here unless you start going to the mountains that are really clear like that. It's really beautiful. It really is. Todd says he's got some TP for sale right now. Oh, well, I hope it's not used. In the ghetto. Oh, that's a great Elvis song. In the ghetto. I like it. I like me some Elvis. We got some American Pie. So bye and bye, Miss American Pie. Going on in the background right now. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys are I saw somebody pop in here. Thrifty Christy! Woo! Yay! Yay! Hello! Hello! I haven't seen you actually in a minute since because I was on all those lives. I was jumping on people's lives, and I know that's where I first met you. This is Life of Kimberly, FYI. I changed my name. Borderline Waterish. All right. I totally have to pee. I know that it's so rude, but I'm going to have to step away for like 1 minute. Okay, maybe longer than just maybe 2 minutes so I can wash my hands real fast. Can you just hold that thought? Where's my dog? Maybe you can look at my dog. I don't know where my dog is. 1 second, people. I promise I'll be back. Bye. I'm still here. I was bringing something else out that I need to see if I have it in my unsold or I went to a garage sale like, I don't know. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter when it was, when it was 3 or 4 months ago. Cool thing about Colorado is that although we do get a lot of snow, you know, for example, like it's going to snow tomorrow, but then the next day or 2 days after that, it's going to be 55. You know, and all the stuff is just melts away. But I went and got a trash bag. I bought a trash bag, big giant black bag full of games. And I thought they were so cool. I figured if they weren't going to sell, you know, that I would keep them. But there's these like bookshelf games. But anyways, it's like Sherlock Holmes. And I couldn't believe that all these games that I got, there was a whole bunch of them. This is one of the last ones I have, had all the pieces in it. So I've sold a bunch of those, but they're really, really cool. I love, you know, it's rare that something is in such, because it's like paper, you know, all these little things in such great condition. I just love it. I love it. I love things that have a story. I could imagine, you know, playing this. Maybe this person didn't play this a whole lot, but I thought it was cool. Oh, vintage games do well. Always make sure. I mean, and you could sell something. I guess it doesn't have all the pieces, but it really needs to be something cool, and you need to definitely, for sure, let people know that it's missing. That's what that description area is for. I notice that people, if you put in, here's another thing I've learned. If you fill out that description part on the condition of what your item is, people will pick that one over one that does not. You know, I mean, think about it. If you see 2 items right? And one you're not sure, let's say it's vintage or something, they're both vintage, and one doesn't even, it says, okay, you have to buy this, but it's unknown on whether all the parts or pieces are in it. Or you have the other one listed, or the other one that's, same thing, except for it says all pieces are complete, or all pieces are there. They're going to pick the one that clearly states that. Some of them, it's hard to try to count out pieces and all that. And again, it was another kind of lesson learned of making sure, to research. Like I said, when I first started out, I was using my mobile phone, and it was a different phone that sometimes wouldn't work out in public. So I wouldn't necessarily have the opportunity to research something. But if you have the opportunity, take the time. What I do when I go to Goodwill is I'll go through and I'll put, I think that's probably way too loud. I'm going to turn that down. So as I go to Goodwill and I will shop, I'll be going through the aisles and I'll see something that maybe I want to scope out, but in one, I don't want to be that person standing blocking the whole aisle, because that's just rude. So I'll put my stuff in there as I, go through, and then I will kind of go off to the side, kind of out of the way, and then research the items or check the items out and make sure that it's worth my time or whatever, to list it. I've learned a lot about, things that have, if there's a label or some type of, like, for example, these bottles, it has a marking on the bottom. So it makes it way easier to find than if it were to not. I mean, it'd just be some little amber looking bottle, which if your knowledge, or what you're doing, then by all means. But I kind of, I don't have a niche. So I sell all kinds of stuff. But it's definitely important to do your research. For sure, because that's where I've, had things that went into my death pile. And my computer's popping up something. I'm going to look at the chat here. Getting snow. Ooh, is it snowing where you're at, Todd? It is not snowing here. It's supposed to snow tomorrow, though. It's supposed to snow, I don't know, just a couple inches. I mean, that's nothing here. When I lived in Kansas, if it snowed 2 inches, the whole town would shut down. Like, they went into a panic. All the milk would be gone. Here, Colorado, no. Yeah, 2 inches and we're laughing. We're like, oh, 2 inches of snow? Are you for real? Give me a foot and maybe we'll talk. Thrifty Chrissy says, sorry, I had to run. Store. Oh, this is, hold on. I have a phone call. I have to take. Sorry. That was rude. It was my man, and I didn't want him to go into some panic attack because I didn't answer the phone. Okay, back to what I was reading here. Question: how far are you from Aspen, Colorado? Aspen, let's see. I can't. It's not too far. It's a couple hours. Yeah, I've been up to Aspen a few times. I actually have really good luck selling things that say Aspen on it. I had a bunch of ski patches, vintage ski patches that were earned through ski school many moons ago. But they're from all kinds of places, and the Aspen ones do really well, along with Keystone type of thing, or souvenir stuff, patches and pins. They do really well. Did I tell you who Tommy is related to that is famous? Have you seen the John Denver statue there? In Aspen, I don't think so. It's been quite a minute. So I went through kind of a period of time where I wouldn't go up too high in elevation because it would make my heart do really silly things. This was before I got my first pacemaker surgery, which was 3 years ago. So 3 years ago, I had my first pacemaker. And then just this recent May, I had that same pacemaker moved. But it wasn't until then that even running, like there's a lot of things that I wasn't able to do for a long time. Because it would make me sick, really. I mean, not good, kind of sick, which stunk, but I really want to go there. I love going into the mountains. I would like to live there someday. I'd rather live in a little small town, personally, than the big giant city. Although, for eBay and reselling and all that, it's definitely beneficial. I have a lot of opportunities, with having 2 Goodwills, like not very far, a thrift store that I could literally walk to, 2 thrift stores I could walk to. There's, Walmart, King Soopers, Target. There's 2 Walmarts really close. And Dollar General, couple Family Dollars. So yeah, there's lots of things. I don't always just get everything from a thrift store. I'll get things from other places. I learned about, I guess retail arbitrage or whatever you call it, many moons ago. I always say that, many moons ago. From my mom when she had her store, because she would buy stuff, more accessory type of things, smaller things, to kind of display up. And she would buy them from like Tuesday Mornings and Ross and stuff like that, and get them, well, they were cheaper than they were at retail cost, and she would resell them. Yes, I do. Thrifty Christie says. Thank you, Destiny. Oh, yeah. The reseller community is so awesome. You guys are awesome. All to each other. I mean, I gotta get more lipstick here, which I probably couponed. And just dropped on the floor. So this was in a bag that I had, but I don't know what to do with it. I don't know. I don't know whether I should try to sell it or what, or just stick it in my window. It was in an ornament bag I got before Christmas. One of the last times I went thrifting, I got a 99-cent bag from Goodwill that had 20, 30 items in it, and put a few things up right away. One was like a little wooden symbol tree looking thing. And that sold right away. I think it was like, I sold it for $20 or something like that. And then I sold, some other stuff, but that was kind of leftover. I don't know how to tell necessarily on. Oh, he is my hubby's cousin, John Denver. That's cool. Supposedly I'm somehow related to John Glenn. maybe supposedly. That's the only person that I know that would be. It's I don't know. There's some other people who were like governors way back when. Ah, he doesn't like being related to him or what? Like, because everybody tries to hit him up or something. Like, hey, that's funny. My music stopped. Alexa, play my YouTube playlist. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Alexa, replay song. This is my inner spirit animal. Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? Janis Joplin is my spirit animal. Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? My friends all drive Porsches, I must make amen. I like Janis Joplin. So sad that, her life ended the way it is, but it did. But I really think she was pretty awesome for being just, I don't know, her. Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? My friends all drive Porsches, I must make amen. Yeah, y'all know that one? I'm probably butchering her, but she kind of has a really sort of raspy, might have been the drugs, voice, but you two gonna play or my Alexa, play my playlist.
Let's go. Here's your playlist, Kimberly, on Amazon Music.
Alexa, play YouTube playlist. I'm always yelling at her.
YouTube on Amazon Music.
The song is playing now. I actually think it's on the list of ones that can't be covered. It's 1,000 years. Heart beats fast, colors and promises. How to be afraid to fall. Stand alone. All of my doubts suddenly step closer. I have died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I have loved you for 1,000 years. Still beautiful. Oh, here's another. There you go. This is up there. Another board game. See, I put it in my little bagel bag. A little bagel bag. Got my little label on it, my little number on it. That has the alphabet number, so I know what container it's in. Step closer. Every day waiting. This is probably way too loud. I'm like paranoid about it. I have loved you. Last thing I want is YouTube to flag me. He hates it because he wasn't really involved with the family, and my hubby only saw him a few times growing up. Yeah, I bet. I have a picture of my kid fishing. just right in front of me is my little motivation. You know, she's such an amazing girl. She's 13 now, but I love fishing. I love it. I love it. Last summer was the first summer, pretty much my whole life, that I didn't go fishing. And it made me sad. But I went, well, okay, so I went and watched people fish, but I did not fish myself because that movement was something that I wasn't allowed to do for at least 6 weeks after I had my surgery. So my surgery was in May and it kind of just took all of summer. Really. We did though. I mean, the summer wasn't like bunk or anything because we went to Oregon where the rest of my family lives, Hillsboro, Portland. So that was really special to make a lot of memories doing that. I was a little nervous to see what my heart would do. I still, because I went so long with having to think about, you know, my heart being kind of silly and racing fast or whatever it was. I still even to today have the habit of kind of thinking about that and remembering that I don't have to necessarily worry about it going, you know, over the top fast because my pacemaker is beating for me. Like it does this whole, you know, when you're nervous or something, or you feel like you have kind of a frog in your throat. That's what it makes me feel like for half a second before it kind of just, you know, goes normal. Can you guys hear my music? I'm paranoid about it. I'm paranoid. I'm paranoid. Ah, such a good song. Music fills my soul. I'm scoping out my inventory here. I really should just figure out what I'm going to do these at. I have so much stuff that I could, I'm sure, be doing. Since I still have these out, I was going to tell you also. But, so they have these cards at Dollar Tree for $1 for 8 of them. But they also have them at Family Dollar for $3.99. Like I'm telling you, you just gotta be smart about things, and it kind of does a trickle effect. I mean, I'm sure that you guys probably know that, but it does a little trick because I'll find stuff from Target that I've seen in Target, from Family Dollar, Dollar General, Ross, in Dollar Tree. I see. I'm still figuring out all my YouTube analytics. What a hard. There's so many rules to everything. I was looking on my analytics. So I just started making YouTube videos in December, and I told myself I'd at least go live in the new year, like once a week, but I'm going to go live whenever I feel like. One of my excuses was, well, I don't know when to go live. I was like, I'm going to go live whenever I feel like. But I think for sure I'm going to try to make, Monday at some point a thing, because Monday's my favorite day. And, it's cool to chat with you guys and to, just, I don't know. I guess not feel so lonely. Oh, by myself. Don't wanna be all by myself. Oh, there's my cat and dog. Okay, good. You can't hear my music. I'm glad. But it is going in and out now. Okay, that's good to know, because I was worried about that. The last time I had my live, I think it was Friday, Oh, see, that's got to be too loud. But wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Shall I stay? Would it be a sin? But I can't help falling in love with you. A river flows. We got some Elvis in the background. Come on, Elvis sleep out. I can't move my legs like he did though. What a stud Elvis was. What was your channel's name before you changed it? Life of Kimberly. Life of Kimberly. Yes. And so we went down to the Springs where my future mother-in-law lives, and I was telling her how I made a couple of videos. I was like, you should watch this, video. I'm took it up all our Christmas decorations. I mean, it's kind of the most boring video ever, but I didn't do it really necessarily for anybody except to show off how much I love Christmas decorations. And kind of our Christmas, what we did. But so I was like, yeah, just look me up. It's Life of Kimberly. Then I figured out that I couldn't find myself. Because there's like 50 other ones. Life of Kimberly. So I figured before I got too deep into it that, I would change it. And so I was like, you know what? I'll just put it as my eBay store for right now. Or what, one of my selling platforms. And that's what I did. There you go. Borderline Horish. Oh, there's merch coming out soon. And I got some trademarks going on. That's what's up. Yeah, when my man heard about that, we were jumping all over that. I don't think it's necessary, to always have to trademark, but I think I'd rather just be safe about it now, because I know that you can look it up and you can see what's taken and not taken, but it's a thing. It's like, is it going to be in the future, And so I'd rather just make it so nobody could take it. Bam! Borderline Horish, not for nobody but me. In the process. Takes a while for them to approve all those applications and stuff like that. Pretty crazy. My first name for YouTube was not a good one at all. No one had it, but when you Googled it, it was so not good. Oh, I'd be curious to know what it was, but maybe you don't have to tell me in chat. I also have Instagram. I don't know if you guys have Instagram. Y'all are more than welcome to follow me and my shenanigans. It is Life of Kimberly on Instagram. And I'm feeling good. The Irish Blonde. Well, I don't think that's that bad. There's nothing wrong with being Irish. I am almost 100% Irish. And I chuckled a little bit because it made me think of, and I hope that nobody's offended by me saying this, but it seems that in our day and age, like, everybody gets offended by everything. And I understand standing up for what you think is right. Like, you go, more power to you, right on. But same time, it's like, you can't, wear this costume or dress up, as Pocahontas, like it's insulting, or, and I get it. I get it. I'm probably going to get some slack for this, but, or whatever it is, everybody seems to be offended by it. And I always tell people, well, you know what? St. Patty's Day comes around and you wear green, or you dress up, or you celebrate. for St. Patty's Day and you're not Irish, I'm going to be offended. I'm going to be offended. I'm going to make sure to make a point and stomp my foot. You cannot wear green. Like, that's what it's getting to. We're just teaching people to complain. And I get that there's a lot of cool things. There is, that are happening that need to happen. Like Colorado governor, who's the governor? He is gay. And that is amazing. I am so proud to be living in a state that is making big moves and to be the first, to do that. But it's ridiculous how many people get their panties in a bunch over the silliest of things. Like, really, really though. So just so you know, if you're not Irish, y'all better not be wearing green on St. Patty's Day. I'm just kidding. It just seems like it's so much energy to, complain about every little thing. It's sad that, suicide rates are so high amongst the young and all this, and we're like lost on why that happens. Well, hello, look what we're doing. Look what we're doing to the generations beyond. I'm technically